Little ladies. See if there's any rose hips left on this bush. Give me some vitamin C. Got my vitamin D for the year, for winter. Vitamin D comes from lanolin. A lot of people don't know that. That's why I felt with my wool, my sheep's fleece is laid out. The side that was facing towards the skin, facing up towards the sun. So the UV light converts the cholesterol in the lanolin that's on the wool into vitamin D3. They extract that from the wool industry and put that in and convert it and then put it into milk for vitamin D3. But you can just leave it in the wool, convert it, and it will absorb through your skin. I got my 1 layer, 2 layer, my hat, and my pants. Usually I have a winter base layer shirt, but I just got a regular wool that some company has stripped the lanolin out of. There's only a couple of them on here that look any good. These are back here. I just grabbed that branch. These look good. Yay, Missy's liking them. It's always a hit or miss whether she's interested in rose hips. Appreciate it. Hope you have a good day.
Yeah, you do. Right?
See ya. And this one's for me. This is our jack. Yes. My tire, I haven't moved the wagon for 3 days until I ordered that. Maybe it's 4 days. Yeah, it took like 4 days to get here because this tire is bulging out on both sides. So I guess this, I'm assuming it's the inner tube. It did that like a couple months ago. I noticed it was doing that, and I was able to deflate it and pinch it while re-inflating it, and it seemed to hold. But I just noticed a couple days ago that it was re-bulging. So yeah, I wanted to order a jack and a inner tube. Should be here too. I got a new tire also, because if the tire has been warped, then it's, I don't know, it seems like it's more likely to warp and allow the new inner tube to start bulging more in that area, and then it'll just be progressive. So it seems like replacing the tire and the inner tube at the same time would be the smartest thing to do. Okay, it said it was 3 pounds. That's acceptable. We'll see. This is not the jack that I ordered. No, they sent me the one that I'd ordered, just out of a different box. Weird. I don't know why. This one looks smaller. Now it looks a little bit weird. This one had a handle though that was like more compact, and it like stayed on there. I don't like having multiple parts, so I liked how this one had a smaller handle, and it was I thought it was rated for a lot less. I thought it was like a 1/2 ton, and that's one of the other reasons that I assumed that it was smaller. So it looked like it was only 3 pounds. So it yeah, it's liquid. This is the only one I've ever seen like this. Let's see. There we go. So yeah, you twist it like, I guess it'd be like this. Yeah, it'd be on the ground, and you go like that, and it raises this arm out like that. It gets up to that high, I guess. Yeah, because this turns, rotates a little bit as it gets steeper. A little bit different of a jack. The reason I went with it though is because it looked like it was smaller than the other ones. I like how this handle is integrated. That is nice. Okay. All the other ones have like real long bars that are ridiculous. This should be able to fit on the side, on the other side, in one of my panniers. Thank you, 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 think, 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 you think, 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 you think, you think, 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 you think, you think, 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 you think, 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 you think, 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 think. One of the main jobs that I do here on my friend's soon-to-be farm, he's just got his chickens out here so far. He's got to sell his house in town before he moves out here. One of my main jobs is just being here and being eyes on the place because it's been robbed. A lot of people who just have regular rural properties that they're trying to transition out to living on, it's oftentimes a couple of years before they're able to get out there and start living. And so a lot of times they'll start trying to collect the things that they're foreseeing that they can use for the farm. Like they run across free stuff or stuff that's a good deal. They run across a tractor and they put it out at the property to start accumulating those needed things. And they oftentimes need someone to just live out there who's reliable, who isn't going to make a mess of the place, isn't going to try to squat the place and stay there forever. They need someone there to protect the possessions on the property and the property itself from other people trying to squat the location and being difficult to remove from the property. There's actually a huge opening in everyone's community just outside in the rural areas where people are buying up properties and they're planning on moving out to start their own homestead, but they're in their transition period, and that's where you can come in. If you don't want to work in the city anymore and you're new to farmhanding, then property sitting is probably one of the best options for you. Finding a property that you can just sit and protect and take packages for. That's a huge service for this property here. It's not only protecting the possessions that are here and receiving the mail, but protecting the mail until it can actually get picked up. Because there's like maybe 3 people that are working back there now, and they come like off and on, and there's huge lengths of time in between. And so if I wasn't here to receive and guard their packages, then their packages would surely be taken. And I'm fulfilling my purpose, my duty, just being a security guard of sort. Yeah. All right, I'm going to master this grain puffer. It's not for you, it's for me. No. Let's take for this one. Good ship. Rainy day. There you got it. Awesome. Homemade puff cereal and sheep milk. Wow. Better than any cereal on the shelf. Hands down. I've ever had. All right, I got my first pump shower. Fail. There's a hole in the side of it, apparently. I tried to rip this piece of metal that was tack welded to the wall. I tried to rip it out. I think I did rip it off right here. But on this side, it was tack welded a little harder. And so when I tried to rip it off, apparently it actually pulled the metal apart. I did this like years ago when I got this. I don't understand. It must have just been weakened. I must have just weakened the wall by pulling it away, and just recently it started to leak air pressure. I heard it leaking, and I was trying to figure it out where it was coming from one of the valves, seeing if they needed to be replaced or if it was coming from here. Looks like it's coming from here too. And yeah. Looks like I need to replace the valve on this. It comes with several replacement valves. And I've had to put in a couple of them in this central shaft, but I haven't had to put any of the smaller ones in. It looks like I have to now, though. So I started off with the smallest shower. They make 3 different sizes of this. I got 1 gallon, a 1.5 gallon, and a 2 gallon. And this is the 1.5 gallon. And I have to say that it's a little bit top heavy. It's like when I set it down on the ground, it's uneven. outside, sometimes I have to move it around a little bit, I feel. Whereas I didn't have to do that with the last one. It was, I think the top of the body was like this high. It was just tall enough to feel more stable. The other thing is that the pump that goes down into this is longer, a couple inches longer, and so I thought that, oh, that'd be more efficient for pumping, which it is slightly. You have to pump it less times, but they're bigger pumps. But the bigger reservoir, the 1.5 gallon, the half extra gallon that this one carries, I've found to be relatively worthless, in the sense that when you get down to that last half gallon, it has so much air above it that has to be pressurized that you have to pump this up to 50 times just to get the 45 psi that is like my ideal. With a smaller 1 gallon sprayer, I was only having to pump this 20 times maximum to get it up to 45, no matter how empty it was. So this is a half gallon more capacity, but that half gallon is relatively worthless when it's at the bottom, because it requires an exponential amount of more pumps, an unreasonable amount of pumps. This is also a lot more top heavy when it's in the base. This base right here plugs into the back of my wagon, and I usually have a piece of coroplast. It's like this tall. It's wrapped around it so that I can nest it down in it. And even with that, it's much more top heavy, especially when we're off-road, than the shorter one. The shorter one is just so snug and stable inside this little stand. So I am in the middle of the sizes right now, and since this one is obviously needing to be replaced, I'm not going to step up to the 2 gallon. I'm actually going to step back down to the 1 gallon. Yeah, I can't wait, actually, because of that last half gallon being so annoying to have to pump up manually. I've been using this automatic tire pump, and it's not something that I want to be reliant on in the long run, and so it'll be a lot better to go back down to the 1 gallon. It's a lot more reasonable of a size, and it's more portable too. Awesome. The broccoli and cauliflower starting to come in, as well as the little cabbage heads. Yeah. All right. Oh, I gotta pick some of these for a smoothie. There we go. I got enough greens. Just a tiny garden. Been providing greens all winter. Thank you, tiny garden. Got my sprouts. Got my veggies. Right. Almost done. Sewing up my pants. I sewed up like 2 rips underneath this, and now I'm sewing on this felt patch. It's gonna be slowly covered by felt patches. I've been adding patches to this for the last over a year now. So there we go. Awesome. I can put my pants on. It's starting to get cold. It took me a couple hours to do this, getting distracted with other things. All right. Done. There we go. Butt's looking all right. Looks like we're starting to get some rips right here. We're gonna have to put a piece there. Check the front. Front's looking good. for the crotch. Front's looking good except for the crotch. I gotta fix that tomorrow. Got my felted pants here. Felted wool pants with my walnut button. I just made them 3/4. I don't usually make a full length thermals underneath my pants. It's usually just not needed. And I really like to be able to roll up my pants into high waters and in the off season, like when it's transitioning. Sometimes it gets hot, but I'm not at a place of convenience to be able to take off my pants, so I'm just rolling up my pants. Something quick I can do to vent, but I can't do that I can't do that as well when they're full length thermals, felted thermals underneath. I can pretty much stand up in my wagon. I'm 5'6" and it's like 5 foot tall in here. It's nice. I could change in here and stuff. Can't stand up straight, but I can do pretty much everything else. Awesome. All right, pants fixed for now. I just finished off my second lamb's jerky. This is the last of the lamb jerky. I just ate an entire meal of lamb jerky. It's so good. Thank you, Lemmy. Finally got the ceiling covered. Now I just need to make curtains on this side and cover the back door. I got enough scraps to cover the back door and enough to start the curtains, but I'll have to felt a couple more larger pieces to finish those. I don't think I'll get it done this winter. I'll probably end up finishing these curtains next winter. Man, I fed off this lamb for so long. He was so big when I butchered him. Like, I could barely fit him in my little fridge under my bed. He filled the whole thing up.